HeroWork is a charity that transforms other charities by transforming their buildings through big community events we call radical renovations.
It's a community that comes together, and that's the best way to say it. For our fall 2021 Radical Renovation, for the first time ever, we're in Langford BC at the Indigenous Perspectives Society. This important charity provides a deeper understanding of Indigenous perspectives, cultural differences, the need for self-determination, and decolonization.
We know that our kids weren't just sexually abused and physically abused and psychologically abused, culturally abused, but there were children who lost their lives. Right here on Vancouver Island, the school in Port Alberni, when they took down that building, they found the remains of children buried in the wall.
Looking at my grandmother's past, they tried to, put a blanket over her and not expose who she truly was, take away her language, take away who she was.
Residential school took parts of kids that they were never able to get back.
I think she was only 1 year old when she was taken from her mother.
It's not the residential school survivors who are committing suicide, it's their children.
The trainings that we offer just really speak to the intergenerational trauma.
Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit kids are overrepresented in our care system because of racism.
Not only are they overrepresented in the child welfare system, but they're most likely to come into care at a younger age, they're more likely to remain in care, and they're more likely not to experience permanency. A good social worker or a good caregiver is going to make or break a child in care. I believe that really strongly, much like cultural connection is the safety net.
Culture needs to be woven into everyday life.
And you can't hand a kid a drum kit or hand them a dream catcher and say, there you go. So what we talk about down in the classroom is, yes, we talk about Canada's history and how we fit into it, but we talk about how do you understand that diversity.
I think the IPS building is set up in a way that not all the space is maximized.
It looks more of like an institutionalized workplace. I think the biggest thing for me is having a culturally reflective space.
To come here and talk to others and experience training and understand their culture more. And I think that's why HeroWorks and this renovation would be amazing, because it allows more space for more youth to come in.
That when they walk into our house, our place of work, that they feel at home, they see elements of who they are as a person reflected in who we are and what our physical space looks like.
With many Canadians finally acknowledging the real traumas and injustices faced by Indigenous communities, this charity and the building that they serve our community from could not possibly be more important.
It's crucial that we transform this two-story cinder block building into a culturally relevant and safe place where they can make a greater impact. The facade will be inspired by cedar and stone. And over here, we're going to tear out a big chunk of this asphalt and put in a local naturalized landscape with beautified seating.
Upstairs, we need to change the aesthetic to make it more culturally relevant and increase staff capacity by adding more workspaces, which means reconfiguring some of these walls. We also want to get away from these artificial lights, installing skylights to bring in the sunshine.
While important cultural learnings are happening downstairs, people can hear the thumping of footsteps. We've got to fix that soundproofing and replace the ceiling.
We need to reimagine this learning space and turn it into a place that embraces ceremony, protocol, be culturally significant, and it needs to accommodate up to 50 people at a time. In order to do that, we're going to blow through these walls, we're going to move and reconfigure these bathrooms and build a new kitchen.
We'd like to remove these posts to expand the breakout and flex space, and then there's a medicine room. We'd love to enhance this area to make it more meaningful.
Now more than ever, we want you to rally with First Nations communities.
But in order to do this, we need your help.
We're going to need hundreds of general volunteers, trade volunteers, and loads of suppliers.
And don't forget about donations. We're going to need a significant amount to get this project done.
So help us transform this important Indigenous charity that impacts adults, children, and promotes decolonization through education.
It truly takes a community to rethink